Hello. What's up, everybody? You were tuned in to the Jaylarock show, and I am Jaylarock. Thank you for tuning in. Now, today's episode is just going to be brought in a little different today. Okay? And again, I appreciate all my listeners that's tapping in today. But the reason why I'm starting this episode off today different is just to awaken a lot of men. And at the same time, raise awareness on domestic violence. Because it's important that we do be awoke when it comes to these fact sheets about domestic violence. Recently, we've been having riots. We've been having idiocracy shit happening through our president. And COVID impacting us. So there's a lot of things that's going to be swept up under the rug, and you might see bits and pieces of it, but it's still highly active in our homes. And the crazy thing about this has nothing to do with colors, because this affects all women of color, all men of color, all women of nationalities, all men of nationalities, whether if you want to believe it or not. And for the ones who don't believe it, those are the ones that's in denial. Big denial. Okay? And it takes a while to reprogram something that's just been so embedded in you since generations upon generations. Okay? With that being said, on average, nearly 20 people per minute physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States during 1 year. Okay? This equates to more than 10 million women and men. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men experience severe intimate partner physical violence. Intimate partner contact sexual violence and or intimate partner stalking with impacts such as injury, fearfulness, post-traumatic stress disorder, uses of victim services, or contracted sexually transmitted diseases. All of these things that I said, add that with what's going on around in the world. So imagine that one lady or that one guy, that's going through this, and they're dealing with the shit that's going on already in society. One in three women and 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner. This includes a range of behaviors by slapping, shoving, pushing. In some cases, might not be considered domestic violence. Now, with that being said, I'm going to add a personal piece of my life to this. I've been through legal battles to attain some type of custody in my daughter's life, my oldest daughter. In that battle, there were things I had to do that I didn't want to do, as far as with the state and what the courts of probate was trying to get me to do, what I felt they were trying to force me to do. And in a situation such as this one, sometimes you're forced into, sometimes you got to embrace the unknown. So I agreed to certain terms to squash the situation in court by agreeing to go to a father friends program for 40 weeks. All right. To make a long story short, what I learned in that 40 weeks is that also words is considered as abuse, whether if it's coming from a man or a woman. Words is considered as a form of big time of abuse. It's just as hard as being hit, and there should be no man in no woman's face, and there definitely should be no woman up in no man's face. I tell my daughter all the time, you are not to never jump in no man's face. You got your father, you got uncles. You know, you come and get one of us before you ever feel that you want to jump inside a man's face. You know, so just to, you know, give you a piece of my personal attribute to this shit in the past. Sometimes you gotta know your words can be very, very damaging. All right, now going on with further. So, 1 in 7 women and 1 in 25 men have been injured by an intimate partner, and 1 in 10 women have been raped by an intimate partner. Okay, data is available on male victims as well too. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men have been victims of severe physical violence, beatings, burning, strangling by an intimate partner in their lifetime. So 1 in 7 women and 1 in 8 men has been stalked by an intimate partner during their lifetime, to a point in which they felt very fearful or believed that they or someone close to them would be harmed or killed. And this happens all the time. On a typical day, there are more than 20,000 phone calls placed to domestic violence hotlines nationwide. Now, the presence of gun or the presence of a gun in a domestic violence situation increases the risk of homicide. And listen to what I tell you guys when I say this. It increases the risk of homicide by 500%. That's sick. That's sickening. That's sickening. Intimate partners violence encounters for 15% of all violent crimes. Okay, women between the age of 18 and 24 are commonly abused by their intimate partner. 19% of the domestic violence involves a weapon. Okay, I'm pretty sure there are fathers that got daughters from 18 to 24. At this point, what age do you sit down and you have this conversation with your daughter? And how do you break it to her? Where you could go to her and express how you feel and not have her scared to come to you if something like this happened. You know what I'm saying? Domestic victims is correctly with a higher rate of depression and suicide behavior. So those people, those men and those women, our co-workers, our friends, our family, next door neighbors, you know, we got to look for these signs of depression. We got to look signs of these suicide behaviors. You know, when you see it on Facebook or social media, Sometimes we often, or we tend to say, what the fuck they put that on here for? We don't give a fuck. But at this rate, you gotta look at the depression signs. And so if people are putting these red flags up, it's for us as a collective to at least try to reach our hand out. Only 34% of people who are injured by intimate partners receive medical care for their injuries. Now, rape. 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men in the United States have been raped in their lifetime. Almost half of females, 46.7%, and male, 44.9% victims of rape in the United States were raped by an acquaintance. Okay? That's the sad part about it. Of these, 45.4% of the female rape victims and 29% of the male rape victims were raped by an intimate partner. Again, ladies and men, take your time. Take your fucking time. There's no need to fucking rush. You know what I mean? You got your whole life ahead of you. And especially if you are a woman with kids. Because your kids want you to come home at night. They don't want you to be a victim to some crazy, stalking, homicidal motherfucker. Okay, stalking, okay. 19.3 million women and 5.1 million men in the United States has been stalked in their lifetime. 60.8% of the female stalking victims and 43.5 men reported been stalked by a current or former intimate partner. Okay. I think most of these men, and just to not make no jokes to this, stop messing with these girls who heads are vulnerable. Stop fucking them unprotected and telling them you love them. And when they go with your philosophy, you just, the whole time you just been on some fake shit. I think that's what to spin off the number for the women. I'm pretty sure. For the men that's being stalked. All right. Homicide. The study of intimate partner homicides found that 20% of victims were not the intimate partners themselves, but family members, friends, neighbors, persons who introverted, law enforcement responders, or bystanders. Okay, 70% of all murder suicides involved the intimate partner. 94% of the victims of these murders or suicides are females. Children and domestic violence. Okay, 1 in 15 children are exposed to intimate partners violence each year, and 90% of these children are eyewitnesses to this violence. So, on a hand-in-hand scale, women, there's no fucking point. Men, there's no fucking point. You're out in public, you're fighting, you're scrapping, and you got your kids with you. At that point, the state deserves to put the 51A against you. You gotta somebody has to be an adult. Stop having kids, yo. If you can't take care of shit the responsible way as a parent is supposed to do, don't have kids if you can't do that. Because 1 in 15 kids, that may not seem like a lot, but when you crunch the numbers, that's a lot. And I see this. We see this in public. We see this everywhere we go. And a lot of us, we chose to mind our business. But economy impact. Victims of intimate partners violence lose a total of 8 million days of paid work each year. The cost of intimate partners violence exceeds 8.3 per year billion. And between 21 to 60% of victims of intimate partners violence lose their jobs due to reasons stemming from their abuse. Can't go to work, you got a black eye, you had to relocate, going to a shelter. Between 2003 and 2008, 142 women were murdered in their workplace by their abuser. 78% of the women killed in the workplace during this lifetime, or this time frame. From 2003 to 2000.